Do you want to make your own Bluey Piñata without the stress and the mess? Then this tutorial is for you. Today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute Bluey that anyone can make even if you have never made a piñata before. Let me show you how. I will leave you the full list of supplies in the description of the video down below. The materials are very cheap and they're very easy to get. For the paper, you can either use paper roll or streamers, but the most important thing that you will need is a template. The template is going to help you to get the shape right and also to get everything in the right position so you don't end up with a wonky looking piñata. You can make your own template or you can also use mine. I will leave you the link in the description below. And using my template will save you quite a bit of time because all the parts have already been measured and traced, but you can also use a different image and make your own template and then follow the same steps. So let's get started. So the first thing you're gonna do is just print out your template and put it together using some tape, or you can also use a glue stick. Once you're done, you're gonna cut your template and then you're going to transfer it to cardboard, and then you're going to cut two identical panels, one for the front and one for the back of your piñata. You will also need to cut several cardboard strips. These are going to be the size of your piñata. I made mine 10 centimeters wide, and then you're going to roll them and this will make them a bit more flexible. And then you're going to take the back panel and you're going to start attaching the side strips. You can either use packing tape, but for this step I actually prefer hot glue because I feel it allows me to finish quicker. So just continue attaching the side strips, bending the cardboard to follow the shape. Next we're going to insert rope, so just make a couple of holes and then just thread the rope and then tie it on the inside. Then you can go ahead and attach the front panel and also cut a little flap at the back. This is going to be the candy door and this is the opening that you will use to fill the piñata. Okay, so now we are done with the structure and let's start decorating. We will cover the sides first and we're going to be using the darkest shade of blue. So just cut the paper in sections and start layering from top to bottom using your glue stick. And you can overlap them a little bit. And then fold down the edges and glue them down. Next we're going to decorate the back. So just start layering the crepe paper in sections horizontally from bottom to top. And if the paper is too sheer, you can apply 2 layers. And once you're done, just trim the excess. And now we can move on to the front. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the template already includes all the parts that go at the front of the piñata. They have already been traced and measured. So all you have to do is print out the template in A4 paper or letter size, and each part is clearly labeled and it also shows which color you should be using. So here we're going to start with the main body of Bluey. For this we're going to be using the medium shade of blue. So just take a section of the paper, fold it in several sections, and then you're going to start fringing it and make cuts about 1 centimeter apart and only cut halfway. And then you can start layering the fringe from bottom to top. And for the bottom row, I recommend you to use 2 layers, and for the rest you can just apply 1. So just continue layering the paper using your glue stick all the way to the top. And once you're done, you can take your scissors and then just cut following the shape. If you are not able to see the line very clearly, just hold it against the window and you will be able to see the cut lines. So this is how the final piece will look like, and then you can just follow the same steps for the rest of the parts. So here I am making the belly and the eyebrows, following exactly the same steps, covering with fringe from bottom to top. For the eyebrows, you can use 2 layers of paper and you don't need to fringe it. Here I am making the ears. This goes with the darkest shade of blue, again just following exactly. And then for the legs and the arms, we're going to follow exactly the same step. The only difference is that these parts use 2 shades of blue and the template clearly show you where the colors meet, so you can use that as a guide so you will know when you should start overlapping the colors. And here you can see how these parts look like with the 2 colors. And then finally we're going to make the brown part, which are the snout and the inside of the ear. And for this, if you have brown paper, you can use that, but I actually used a brown bag because this is what I had at hand and I think it's a great way to recycle. And not only that, but it's actually the perfect color match. So if you don't have brown paper, it's a brown bag. And then for the eyes and the nose, you can simply just cut them directly from the template. So now all our parts are finished. We are not going to glue them yet, we're just going to do a quick check. So just put them into position, use your template as a guide, and what we want to do here is just check if there are any gaps that we need to fill. So in this case, for example, we still need to fill between the legs. I also found a little gap around the tail, so just go ahead and fill that. For the legs, I'm going to be using this green paper to create some grass. First I apply 1 layer and then I just cut this spiky cut to simulate some grass, and we're gonna layer it from top to bottom. And then I'm going to use the dark blue paper to cover a few gaps that I found around the tail and on the sides. So now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing all the pieces into place using my template to find the right placement for everything. And if needed, you can use your larger template to make some marks so that you know exactly where to put the eyes, the nose, etc. And finally, once you are done placing all the parts, the only thing that is left to do are the outlines. And these are the lines that are going to give definition to the smile, between the toes, etc. For this, we're going to be using paper twine. So take your template and then use a pencil or a pen to mark the position of the lines. And then take the paper twine, measure, cut, and then you can go ahead and glue it using your glue stick. And then I'm doing the same for the lines that are forming the toes and around the arms. I'm using again my template to mark the position of the lines and then take the paper twine, measure, cut, and glue in place. And it's not really necessary to mark every single line. Here I just decided to only do between the toes, the smile, and around the arms because these are the only areas that really need that definition in my opinion. And just a small tip, if you are finding it a bit difficult to apply the glue because the glue stick is too thick, you can also take a cuticle stick or a toothpick to take small amounts of glue, and that will make the application a bit easier and more precise. And there you have it, our Bluey is ready. I think she looks so cute. She turned out so beautiful. So as you can see, using the template makes it much easier and it's going to save you so much time, and it will help you to create a beautiful piñata even if you have never made one before. And if you like this one, I also have tutorials for Stitch, for Pikachu, and I'm putting out new characters and new templates every week, so don't forget to subscribe so you will not miss out. And that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and see you for the next one.